There we go. Bonjour, everybody. Hello, how are you? Welcome to another episode of Monday Night Live, because it's Monday, the 12th of January, and it's 9 p.m, and we're live, in theory. Hopefully, I'm properly live this time. I messed it up last week where we messed it up and I wasn't live on YouTube, but in theory, today, we're live. Pokraj Roy is in the chat. Happy New Year, he says. So in theory, YouTube is live. Hello, YouTube. How are you? Cheers, everyone. Sante. I'm drinking a Guinness today because I thought, why not? Fucking, would you like a pint of Guinness there, you Irish wee bastard? I would fucking love a Guinness. So I fancied a Guinness. So cheers, everyone. It's from a can. Don't judge me. Darlan Banash off of Instagram. Hello, how are you? Step Chassa, Linda Wonder Woman, Happy New Year. Evening all from Cambridge. What up, Keith McMillan? How is everyone? Monday night. What's going on? What date are we? It's the 12th. I said it at the beginning. Dickhead. Why don't you remember? How's everyone doing? It's already halfway through January. How's it going? Do you know what I mean? Is anyone depressed yet? Woo! Oh, dearie me. Archie says, bon fucking soiree à tous you wankers. If you get the reference, you get the reference. L'opportunité est fucking énorme. I can't remember what that coach's name is. From somewhere in France, but originally Irish. What a legend. Oh, our snow has just melted now. Red Becky, well, ours melted a couple of days ago. Completely disappeared. Oh, it just absolutely disappeared, right? Steph Casher, time flies. Time does fly when you're having fun. Jordan Ford, how you going? How's it going, mate? Yeah, g'day. We got Amsterdam in the house. How are you? How are you? How are you? How are you? Hey, Paul, my boyfriend its birthday. I gave him, oh, wait, the comments disappeared off of me. No, it's not, it's on the screen. I gave him your show in Toulouse for his birthday. Oh, Seabury, well, happy birthday to your boyfriend. When is his birthday? Is it today? You'll have to shout out during the show in Toulouse and be like, hey, on s'est parlé dans live. Except shout it in English because I'll be doing the show in English. I finally found some tickets to see you in Caluire en cuir. Caluire et cuir. What name of a fucking city is that? Just call it Lyon. It's in Lyon. Yeah, it's the suburbs of Lyon. Fucking Lyon. Did I go sledding? Sledging? No, I went running in the snow. I don't have enough. That's not true. There are hills. I don't have a sled to go sledding. Sledding or sledging? I don't know. I don't even speak English anymore. Hello, Paul, you cheeky Frenchman. I'm a new learner to French, and I'm sure you've answered this before, but how long did it take you to get your ridiculous level of French bilingual since childhood? Oh, I'm glad you fucking asked. It's a long answer. T. Franitar. What kind of a name is that? Bilingual French. I tell you the full story. So the full story, strap in. It's a long one. Cheers. The full story is, I was born in the UK. Then when I was 2, my dad got a job in Geneva in Switzerland. So we moved to Switzerland. And, well, we moved to France. Well, we moved to Switzerland. So I was 2 years old at that point, wasn't going to school yet. And then when I was 5 or 4, we moved across the border to France. And that's when I started French school. So I did a couple of years of French school when I was like 4 to 6. And then 6 to 9, I was at an international school in Geneva. So my lessons were mostly, I guess they were half in English, half in French. So I got, what's the word? Subjected is not the right word because that is negative. I got exposed to the French language from that age, which is where my accent comes from. Now, you might think my French is amazing. It's not actually that amazing. It sounds better than it actually is because I'm good at doing accents. So I sound very French when I speak French. Now, so the accent comes from when I was a kid. Then I moved back to the UK when I was 9. And basically, short story, I was there till I was 23 and came back to France. There was a bit of Spain involved in between of those. But, so my level of French descended into the depths of English hell, because when you learn French in England, it's a bit of bonjour, bonjour, comment ça va, voulez-vous une croissant s'il vous plaît. So that was my level of my level of French for a while. But then I kept on studying it, and I had the accent, which was the most important thing. Arguably, for me, having a better accent is more important than having better vocabulary. It gets you by in life easier. And I have friends who've been in Paris for decades. Not dickheads, decades. And they still have a very strong English-speaking accent or foreign accent, not necessarily English-speaking. And people still have a hard time understanding what they're saying, yet their French is amazing, but they haven't figured out the accent. I'm the opposite. The accent came before the French. So and then I did my degree in French. I studied French all through what you would call high school, I guess, in England, secondary school, all the way up until I was 18, went to university, did French and Spanish at university, and then straight after university, I went to Quebec for a year during university, so I picked up another accent, le Québécois, calice, tabarnak, d'esti, calice. Hey, y a-tu un Français qui peut marquer, hey, qui score 3 buts pour les Canadiens, calice de merde, Montréal, hey, go Habs, go, là. And then I came back, and then I moved to France 16 years ago, and I've been here since. So all of that combined means that I speak decent French, but I still make mistakes, which is the frustrating thing, because there's no other thing in life that you can be. I'm 39, right? So, and I started probably speaking French when I was 3. So I've been learning French for 36 years. There's nothing else in the world that you could learn for 36 years and still make mistakes. I don't imagine a guitar player actively learning guitar for 36 years still fucks it up. Maybe he does. Maybe I should call my mate Charlie Winston and see what he's up to. Anyway, I hope that answers the question for you. Arash Pictures is in the house. Hey, buddy, Arash Pictures. Go follow him if you want to see some fucking cool pictures of people on stage. He takes some of the best photos, and also he prints them out on fucking, what do you call them? What are these called? Not Post-its. What are they called? Polaroids. One of my favorite photos. Actually, one of my favorite photos. Hold on! I'm coming back! One of my favorite photos that he took was of me, hold on, let me get your fucking comment out the way, is me and my mate Rolly at the Olympia in Montreal in 2023. What a legend. He printed that out. So that sits on my thing over there. So Arash Pictures, go follow him. He's based in Quebec, Calice. Hey, were you at the match when the French person scored a hat-trick? Le Canadien, Calice, the hockey. Le hockey, le hockey sur glace. Hey, tabarnak. What else have we got? Oh, Raquel regarde, ma fille est à Montréal pour 5 mois. Elle est partie vendredi dernier. Oh, mate. Raquel, that must be, I don't know how we're going to deal with it. We're, obviously our daughter's 6 and we're still, trying to make the most of having a daughter and a child at this age. Every fucking video I watch online about parenting is like, you got to take advantage of it because it goes like that. You blink and they fuck off. So I wonder, she's going to have a great time. She might not come back. That's the problem, Raquel, because Montreal's fucking amazing. And I would stay there forever. Micheluna, when you go to Quebec, do you speak French with a French-France accent, a France-French accent, or a Quebecois accent? It's in between. I feel like if I go there and speak with a French-Quebecois accent, the good thing is, here's the thing. You don't want to go somewhere and do an accent and do it badly, which is 99% of French people. When they go to Quebec, they're like, oh, tabernacle, oh, calice, oh, tabernacle, il fait frette. And they just use Quebecois words with the French. It doesn't work. Whereas, because I'm good at accents, I subconsciously, after a year, started speaking un peu Québécois. C'est bonjour, je m'appelle Paul Taylor, comment ça va? And so it was a complete subconscious thing. Like when I went to Australia, I lived in Australia for like 4 months working at Apple, and I would come back and I would say a bottle of water instead of a bottle of water or a bottle of water. I'd say a bottle of water, and I'd go up at the end of my sentences. And so so when I go back, if I'm like at a restaurant and the people I don't know, I'll speak in my normal French accent, the Parisian French accent. But if I'm with people I know, like my friend Rolly or anyone else, now and again I'll come out with a colis de tabarnak esti, just because I prefer swearing in Québécois. I swear in Québécois French here at home. People must think I'm fucking mental, because I'll be swearing in Québécois but speaking British English. So, little legs, thank fuck for that. I'm 4 years in and get frustrated. Hey, you got 4 years. Catch up, Jesus Christ. You got loads of time. So yeah, Alexandre Texier, that's it. Najim, Arash Pictures, hold on. Yo, you're on YouTube, you're on YouTube, but you're also commenting on... amazing. Have you ever considered doing shows in Spanish? Hombre, lo que pasa que estamos aquí haciendo un show en español. Todo bien, todo bien. I've done shows in Spanish, not full shows, like 10 minutes in Spanish. And they've gone okay. The problem with my Spanish is, again, the accent is very good, but I have to learn that. I can't speak Spanish fluently, like, without French coming in from the deep down. The French will just show up at some point. So I have to learn, like, the Spanish thing off by heart. But I would like at some point to do a show in Spanish just for the fun of it. But the weird thing is like when you start doing comedy, you kind of have to pick a thing and stay with it, because otherwise you have to start again. So if I did a show in Spanish, where would I do it? I couldn't, if I went to Spain and did a show in Spanish, no one would come to the show because no one in Spain knows who I am. So I'd have to start like a open mic nights in Spain, and it would take years for me to build up an hour's worth of show in Spanish. So maybe one day, we'll see. How is my daughter's English accent these days? Well, it's good. Honestly, it's really good. She's getting there. But she'll still, like you might have seen my most recent video on Instagram. We were playing a game where she still confused the English word piss and peace. There's two different sounds, I and E, right? It's like a short I and a long, well, the French equivalent would be like E acute, like été, summer, and the other one is E, like the French I. So piss, it's like, imagine in French if the word was spelt P, E accent aigu, SSE, piss. That's how you pronounce going for a P, is piss. Peace is pronounced P-I-S-S-E, like pisser, like the French verb to piss. So it's confusing. So she still gets that a little bit confused, but she's right with it. Any plans to come to New York City? I was there last summer, in June? I can't remember. Oh, it was July. It was the 28th of June. I did my show in New York the day of my daughter's birthday. I will be back in New York in November, at the end of October, beginning of November, because I'm running the New York Marathon. It is booked, it is paid for, and I'm running the New York Marathon. Whether I do a show the day before, I don't think I'll be doing my own show, because I need to do visas, and it's all complicated, and America's complicated for visas. Even before Trump, it was complicated. Now it's complicated. So I may just pop into a random comedy club and do a 5-minute set, unpaid, before the night before the marathon. That would be cool. But I will be there for the New York Marathon, if you want to come and cheer me on. Quand tu parles anglais couramment, on fait des anglicismes tout le temps, c'est horrible, lol. Quand tu parles anglais, on fait des anglicismes. I'm trying to make sense of that phrase. When I speak English, you do anglicisms? Trying to figure it out. Very good, very good. Guylaine, I've lived abroad since 19 years and never lost my French accent. Now you see, I have a problem with that phrase. It doesn't work in English. I've lived abroad since 19 years. That doesn't sound English to me. I've lived abroad for 19 years. I've been abroad since... You'd have to put a specific date. I've lived abroad since 1999 or whatever the date is. Since 19 years though doesn't work. Don't ask me why. I'm not an English teacher. English teachers in the chat, fucking explain it. But I lived abroad since 19 years doesn't work as an English phrase. So, but you've never lost your French accent. Yeah, you've been there for 19 years. So 19 years, unless you were 12, which means now you would be 31. That doesn't work, does it? Does that work? Yeah, it does. Yeah, if you basically moved abroad after your teenage years, your accent's fucked. You can't, unless you really make an effort and go to like a speech therapist. Ja, 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 hablas como un andaluz, hostia, tío. Yeah, I kind of, funny thing, in the south of Spain, the first time I went to Spain, I worked in a supermarket in Torremolinos in Andalusia. And I got off the bus, wherever it was, at Malaga airport to go to Torremolinos. And we were asking, me and my mate, Jason, we were asking at the airport, like, where's the bus station? It wasn't at the airport. It was at the airport because we went to Jerez, where sherry is made. I didn't know the alcoholic drink sherry, or as the French would call it, Xerez. Anyway, we asked the guy where the bus station was, and he was like, hombre, está por ahí, I can't chart. And we couldn't understand a fucking word he was saying with the Andalus accent. So I now make fun of it. What else have we got? I'd love to see you chat with Christoph Waltz. Is Christoph Waltz the geezer who was in Inglourious Bastards? I fucking love that film. I just saw a clip of it today because I was listening to an interview with Melanie Laurent. Melanie Laurent, who was talking about her experience on that film. What else have we got? That's fantastic for your daughter. I'm so happy for her. Yeah, I just need to keep going because I've met too many people in my life who are Franco-British or Franco-Australian or Franco-New Zealand or Franco-American or Franco any other English-speaking country, and they still have an accent when they speak English. They don't think they have, but they do. Like specifically the British, we're very good at hearing different accents because we have so many accents, so we're used to it. And I've met too many people who think they sound English, and I'm like, you don't. You clearly sound foreign. I can't tell you where you're from, but you don't sound native English. You've got a weird twang to it. Misha Luna, I'll be in Halloween. I will be in New York City for Halloween. Wait, will I? Well, the marathon's on the 1st of November, so yeah, I will be in New York for Halloween. Shit, I didn't think about that. What am I going to dress up as? Harry Potter? Harry Potter? Wait, October 26th. When do I fly into New York? Hold on. I haven't booked my flights yet, but I will be there from the 29th, yeah. Oh, mate, the marathon is gonna be outrageous. The day after Halloween. Oh my God, what were they thinking? The day after Halloween in New York, people are gonna be on the marathon course, just like hobbling along from a hangover. It's gonna be great. Would it be possible to do a show in Newcastle upon Tyne? Also, did you see the Exeter score in the FA Cup this weekend? 2 questions. One, I did a show in Newcastle this time last year. I think it was in February last year. One of the best shows of the entire tour. I fucking loved it there, even though it was like a 5 p.m. Sunday show. And the Exeter score, no, I don't follow football anymore, unfortunately, because my little brother stopped playing for them, so I don't know what they're up to. What else have we got? What else? I love these questions. You're on fire today with these questions. I love it. Okay, I've lived abroad for 90 years or since 2006. Okay, thanks, Raquel. It's because French people seem to learn that depuis is since, but they're not quite the same. Right, yeah. J'habite à l'étranger depuis 19 ans. Yeah, I see what you mean. That makes sense. Yeah, they're not the same. Magnifique chanson de Torremolinos, famous Belgian brand. I have to check that out. Torremolinos, hombre. Oh, God. Have I ever thought of acting? I tried it and I'm shit at it, so no is the answer. I've been in a couple of films. I've been in 2 French films. Look at me. Fucking what a legend. One of which I was a Québécois, and the other one I was a English rugby, what do you call it? Supporter. I've been in 2 films and 1 short film. Have I acted in any TV stuff? Apart from my own stuff, which isn't acting, it's just me being me. A couple of things. I've been in a couple of things. Top Gear, I was acting a little bit, but acting as an English person, so basically me. So yeah, it's not my thing. It's not my thing until I do one of them and I'm like, oh, actually, this could be fun. But it's just, you rely on other people to give you roles. So it's complicated. I'm sitting here waiting and no one gives me anything. Yeah, I should show up as Ron Weasley. I'm not Ginger, mate. Ron Weasley is Ginger. I am not Ginger. I don't know how many times I need to tell you French people this. I'm not fucking Ginger. This, right? Let's see if it... That is Ginger. This is not Ginger. Harry Potter... I tell you why. Because when I was a kid and I lived in Spain for 2 years at school, I've told this story many times before, but it was in 2001 when Harry Potter had just come out. Now, my hair colour is far more similar to Daniel Radcliffe's than Ron Weasley's. My beard has a bit of ginger in it, but when I was 13 years old, I didn't have a beard. So the Spanish kids at my school would be like, "Hey, Harry Potter! Harry Potter!" So that traumatized me, which is why I've never dressed up as Harry Potter. Harry Potter? It's funny because my daughter was watching episode 2. Episode 2? What are we talking about? A film here. The second film. Half an hour before I came out to do this this live. Stephanie Louvet, is it strange that I can easily understand all you say, but not other people? Do you articulate? Lol, French word. It's the same in English. Articulate. Do you articulate a lot, especially? I don't consciously articulate, but I think I've gotten so used to speaking to people whose native language is not English that I probably am more... I'll tell you what it is. It's 2 things. I think it's 1, the articulation. Maybe I articulate better. But 2, I will use words on purpose that are not very slangy for British or American. Like it'll be like the word articulate. There's probably another English word. Well, that's a bad example. But if there's a word in British English that we would use as slang or something, but then there's another word that sounds like a French or Spanish word because it comes from Latin, then I would use that on purpose. For example, what's an example of an English word that comes from like Latin that English people won't use that much, but French people would understand? Trying to think of an example here. Literature is a good example. Littérature, yeah, literature. But I don't know what else we would say in English. But yeah, littérature is a great example where we would say literature. You are British, it helps, I guess. It doesn't always. Weirdly, some people prefer American accent. Silence. Yeah, again, that's an English word, but we would say that in English. Ameliorating pokrajroy, that is a word that I wouldn't use, because I don't think it exists in English. But something like, I can't think of any words. Cross or traverser. Infallible, that's a good one, Adio style. Infallible, I don't think I would really use infallible, but yes, exactly. That is a typical word that I would use when I'm speaking English, because I know that French or Spanish or foreign people understand that more than another British English word that we would use for that. I understand British English very well, but not Australian English. Why? Because they have a nasal accent. They're not that. It's why French people don't understand the Quebecois accent very well, because it's up here in the nose. It's like, oh, g'day, mate, how you going? It's in the nose, whereas the British accent is more in the mouth at the front. The American accent is a bit nasally as well. Hey, how are you? Do you know what I mean? Whereas Australia's like full nasal. So it's why we don't understand the twang de Marseille. The oh putain. It's like it's in the nose. I don't know what I'm talking about. You know, it's not like I didn't study linguistics at university, but I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh God. Am I cognizant that I have a British accent? I'm only really aware when I'm in the UK, Australia, etc. Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, Tony, this is one of the things that annoys me about over your side of the world when you say a British accent, because that, to me, doesn't mean anything. Because when you're talking about a British accent, where? Because Scotland is in Britain. So technically, a Scottish accent. You're right, pal, I've got a fucking British accent if you want. Liverpool's a British accent. Northern Ireland is a British accent. Wales is a British accent. And even when you say an English accent, it's like, well, what part of England? But yes, I'm very cognizant that I have an English accent. I'm only really aware when I'm in the UK, Australia. Yeah, of course. I don't sound... What's funny, here's a funny story, right? Sometimes I do voiceovers where you're in this little sound booth and you have a microphone and you have the headphones and you have to do a voice in a certain, that you know, the director will say, can you be a bit mysterious, Pauline? Like, oh, this is mysterious. Hello, how are you? I'm being mysterious. So I do voiceovers, and I've had it where, this is in France. I was literally talking about this 2 days ago with my friends Sarah and Amber, where we all do voiceovers here because we are English native speakers in France, and we have a bit of personality, so we could do different voices. So we do them. I've stopped doing them because I got annoyed with French directors who don't know what the fuck they're talking about with voiceovers, where they would say, I'd do the voice, right? If I had to read out your comment, I'd say, are you cognizant that you have a British accent? And the director would be like, can you be less English, please? I'm like, all right, so you want me to be more American? And they're like, no, just less English. I'm like, well, what do you mean? You want my accent to be less English but not American? What the fuck are you talking about? Pick a country and I will do the accent. Do you want me to be more Australian? What do you mean less English? I was like, more neutral. There is no neutral English accent. Just like there's no neutral French accent. You pick a fucking city. Paris. All right, I'll be Parisian. Oh, I'll be from the north. Oh, I'll be from the south. Oh, I'll be Belgian. Oh, I'll be Swiss, Quebecois. You need to pick a place. You can't just say, be less French. What do you mean? Be less French. So, or they'll be like, oh, do the mid-Atlantic accent. The mid-Atlantic accent. No one lives in the mid-Atlantic apart from Poseidon, and he's fucking Greek. So, yeah, I have a British accent, and people ask me to be less British, but not more American, which doesn't mean anything. So anyway, but my US accent is considered neutral, okay? Meaning, yeah, in the US is fine because there's like, the US is so big that everyone has the same accent apart from a couple of places. The UK is very different. You can tell that I'm from the south of England. The southeast, you can tell. Somebody from the southwest of England will say, oh, he's from the southeast. Somebody from the like a 2-hour drive up north from London, people will go, oh, he's from London or the southeast. 2 hours west of London, people are like, oh, he's from the east. It's you know where you're from with a UK accent. I agree with the US. The Australian accent's a bit similar because it's such a big country, but it's because you have less history of the same type of people moved over there, right? Which is why Boston has its specific accent, and New York, because they were the first ones, right, to be settled, and then the rest of the country happened, right? So it's why Boston and New York have a bit of a twang. The South has a twang, and then everywhere else is sort of the same, and then you've got California, right? What have we got? I have a friend that used to say to me whenever she heard me speak English, I finally understood that she wanted me to speak English with a French accent. Yeah, it's funny because I've heard French people or Latins, like people from Spain, Italy, France, understand each other better in English than they understand native English speakers because they would make the same mistakes and have the same accent. So it's kind of funny. Right, ladies and gentlemen, this has gone in a flash. It's already 9:30. I can't believe that it's already 9:30. I've just been having too much fun with you, and your questions this week have been outrageously good. So thank you for those questions. It's 9:30, so that's it. The live is over in a couple of minutes. But before we go, if you're on Patreon, then obviously the live continues for the after party in a couple of minutes over on patreon.com/PaulTaylor. And if you support me on Patreon, you get to buy me some virtual beers and you get loads of exclusive content like me just randomly sending you videos of me running in the snow and talking to you. So that is what happens over on Patreon. And the rest of you, well, I'll see you next week. I'm not on tour yet. The tour starts at the end of next week, which I'm very excited about. Almost all of the shows in France are sold out, which is weird because the show's fully in English. I don't think anyone knows that the show's fully in English. So yeah, I will see you next Monday, everyone, for another episode of Monday Night Live. And Patreon, I'll see you in a couple of minutes. I need to go for a pee, and I'll be with you in a couple of minutes. All right, that's it for this week. Love you guys. I'll see you later. Bisous. Bye.